just like Calvin Throckmorton. I mean, he played last night for the New Orleans Saints against the Seahawks in Monday Night Football, and he played left guard. I mean, he played right tackle for us, and he played right guard, and he played left guard, and he played center even. So even, I've been looking up to a guy like that the last couple of years to see how he prepared, how he practiced, and he was able to play any position that the coaches asked him to play. And so I'm trying to emulate him and be ready if I need to be.
Is there anything he did specifically that you're like, all right, I just have to do that and be like him, or is it just a matter of working really hard and mentally preparing?
I think in the same way that I try to pay attention to every position, he was paying attention to every position and just taking diligent notes and making sure that, I mean, our culture of preparation is a big thing here at the University of Oregon, especially in the offensive line room, and he was one of the most prepared guys that I've ever been around and been able to witness. So just being prepared like him, just in case, and it helped when I went in on Saturday.
This is sort of a silly question, but when you talk about taking notes, what is that process like? Do you have a bunch of binders, or kind of what's that process for doing that?
Yeah, so each guy's different, but like I have a spiral notebook, and I just take notes on anything that I think is important, to me to help me perform and remember things. And even it's the same way that I would take notes for school.
Right.
For any of my classes, I just take notes a certain way. And Coach Mirabal always encourages us to take notes. And Coach Griswold is a huge note guy, and so he's always encouraging us. And it's part of the preparation process, and it helps us be successful.
What sort of things are you taking notes on? Is it specific to your position? Is it specific to the opponent? Is it a variety of that, or what kind of goes into that?
Yeah, just how the game plan changes every week. There's different nuances to every week, and obviously taking notes on their defense. So I'll take notes on the different nuances of every position, guard through tackle through center, and then take notes on just the things that we're talking about throughout the week, different pass protections and all the different kind of stuff. So I mean, I guess it's different every week on what I'm specifically taking notes on, but it's a general idea of just all the different nuances of the different weeks.
How would you assess how Ryan has done at center? Because obviously that's not where he started at. You have some familiarity there in terms of moving around throughout a game or a season. What have you seen that?
Yeah, I mean, in the same way, he prepares. I mean, he hasn't played a lot of tackle, but he prepares to play left guard, center, and right guard, and he's ready to go in any position he's needed at. And he's another guy who takes great notes and just watches a lot of film and just gets prepared for whatever he's called to do. And he's a great leader, and I feel really confident with him and Alex at center. Listen to what they have to say before the play, taking advice from them during the play, and just I'll follow them into anything.
This team has gone through a lot of adversity, especially on the offensive line with some of the injuries. Just talk about the confidence that gives you just moving forward through the rest of the year.
Yeah, I think this group is super prepared, like I said. And so Coach Mirabal comes in the meeting room every day and he's like, you could go in, so everyone's got to be prepared. And, my number just happened to be called on Saturday, but, I've been prepared the last couple of weeks to go in and wherever. And every guy in the position group is the same way. Whether Ryan has to go at center or guard, or George Moore has to go at guard, or Steven has to go at guard and he plays tackle normally. So I think everyone's super prepared to when their number's called. Coach always says, shame on you if your number is called and you're not prepared. So I think our guys take that to heart and prepare as if we're going to play.
What are you watching for, or maybe preparing for on the sideline in a game where you don't start but you have to come in, and kind of how does that inform how you're going to play out there when you do enter?
Yeah, so after every series when the guys come off, they all sit down and we kind of just talk about what's going on in the game and what looks are we seeing, and things from practice is it transferring over. And so I'm just I'm paying everyone in the two deep is just paying attention to what's going on, so just in case they have to go in, we're ready. And I'm talking to Jackson started at left guard, so I was talking to him what he was seeing. I'm talking to George, I'm talking to TJ, I'm talking to those guys to figure out what looks they're seeing, any little tips they can give me. So if I'm rotating with them, I know what to do, or if I'm gonna play one of their positions, I know what they're getting.
With that, just talk about mental reps and just how important that is. Just you talked about stay ready and just making sure you're prepared for that moment.
Yeah, absolutely. So even in practice, for example, like if you're standing on the sideline, if you're in the two deep, or even your ones and the twos are going, looking at the signal, seeing what play we're going to run, and then when you look out on the field, seeing what the front is, and just kind of anticipating, running the play in your head before they do it on the field. And that happens in the game too. I'm always kind of hanging around, watching the signal, looking out at the field and kind of seeing what's happening, so that it's not new. It's not the first time I see it when I go out there and have to play.
I'm curious in practice, what is it like going against Kavon? I don't mean just from kind of a play-by-play standpoint, but what is that motor like? He seems like a guy who these days he doesn't really slow down during games.
Yeah, so I mean, Coach Griswold says all the time, but Tuesday and Wednesday our practices are the most important days of the week for us, and the way we practice is tough and physical, and so it's just iron sharpens iron. He's going hard against us, and we're going hard against him, trying to get each other better all practice long. So yeah, I mean, he's really good, and it's fun to go against him because he gets everyone around him better when he gives his all. So
how do you kind of game plan for him on Tuesdays and Wednesdays? Like, do you have moments where you're at tackle, you're like, all right, we have to do this, and this?
Yeah, I mean, but we've been going against each other since he first got here, his first spring. So I mean, he's still going to give his all, but when it comes to game planning, like, I think that's funny, but no, we don't really do anything like that. It's just, you go out there and practice as hard as you can.
This team talks about the 1-0 mentality a lot. Just talk about what that means to you, and just how do you just kind of block out some of those extra distractions?
Yeah, I mean, I think it really can be boiled down to anything you're doing in any moment. Just take it 1-0. So like, when I wake up in the morning, when I'm preparing my body for practice, and when I'm eating, I'm 1-0 when I'm eating, I'm 1-0 when I'm stretching, I'm 1-0 when I'm in the meeting room and trying to take down notes. I'm 1-0 in pre-practice, 1-0 during the walkthrough. Just like, if you can dominate every moment of your day, then it's easy to go 1-0 on the day. But if you try to look at it as I want to be 1-0 at the day, then it can get lost in all the different things. But you try to go 1-0 at every moment, then it chunks it down to make it a little bit easier.
Ryan said that the offensive line that finished the game had never taken a single practice rep all together as 5. Okay, what does that speak to the continuity of your group and the ability for you guys to have that chemistry without it taking a rep?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're all great friends. That has a lot to do with it. But during practice, during fall camp, Coach Mirabal was rotating guys all over the place. So throughout fall camp, I've played every single position with all different kinds of guys, and so there's just a real trust there that whoever you're next to, there's a bond and a trust that you can communicate and you can play. So, I play next to TJ. We played next to each other plenty of times. I played next to Sala. We played next to each other plenty of times. And then Ryan, he's played center plenty of times. And so there's just, everyone trusts each other. And so it lets us play fast and play hard, play physical the way that we want to play.
You played right tackle yet this season? I'm trying to think. I know you haven't played center, but have you played everything else besides it?
I've played right tackle more in at the end of games. So I think I played right tackle against Stony Brook, and I played a little right tackle I think against Arizona, but predominantly left tackle and then the guard positions.
Last week.
Yeah.
Cool. You talked about the concussion stuff after it was the Arizona game, right? How is that for you? Have you kind of shaken all that off and feel like you're mostly over it now?
Yeah. Unfortunately, it was the first diagnosed one that I've had since I've been playing football, so it was kind of a weird process for me. But I mean, I was with the trainers and trusting everything they had to say and taking care of my head to try to get better, and now I feel great. I feel
That's good.
back to normal.
Good, it's your first diagnosed one, right? Well, cool, I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
Appreciate it, Dawson.
Yeah, no problem.